It's October 1996. We're on our way to U.S. Scale Masters Championships, Tempe, Arizona, and we've stopped off at Napco Limited to visit Paul Knapp, owner and operator of this tool and die and product design business and manufacturer of miniature aircraft engines. So let's go see Paul. Okay, we'll just go in here and see if Paul's here. I bet I can find him down here in this office. By gosh, there he is. Good morning, Paul.
Good morning.
Hey, I want to thank you for inviting me in, okay? To see around. And who's this you got here?
This is my friend Robert Cooper.
Robert Cooper. Robert, how are you? Clear from Savannah. Good to see you again.
Well, good to see you. All right.
Hey, we're going to have a good time today, huh?
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, we're going to see all these engines and talk a bit.
Lots of nice aircraft. Well, drips constantly.
Well, this is the engine that Paul Knapp is really famous for, as far as I know of anyway, is this Bentley rotary engine. Robert, give that prop a twist there and show some of the people that a lot of people don't realize there were rotary engines where the whole engine turned with the propeller. They can't quite comprehend that, but that's the way it was. It made them cool better, I guess. Was that the idea?
Yes, strictly for cooling.
The Bentley BR2, and a lot of us have seen this engine run, and it runs beautifully, and I think that Paul will have it out at the Scale Masters Championships this weekend, and we can all see it run again. And Paul, tell me what we got here with this 985. Is this the Pratt & Whitney?
Yeah, quarter scale, R985.
Can we talk about that a bit? That's beautiful. Can you pick that up and
so far these are just the castings. There's nothing inside yet, but we're paying a lot of attention to the detail on the engine.
This is the Pratt & Whitney R985?
Right.
And this is an engine they have in, what's the airplanes they used to use it in?
The Twin Beach.
Oh, yes.
The GB, of course. Took the world speed record in 1930, I think it was.
Oh, that's a beauty.
For the R985.
You get a little closer here on that little thing. And right now you don't have the innards in it, right?
Right. We're still working on the prototype.
That's a masterwork. Spline shaft. Oh, man. Yeah, it's Pratt & Whitney, all right. Look at that machine work, guys. Paul's won a few awards with this machine work, I know. He's got them plastered on his wall. Look at that spline shaft. Quarter scale. Sure want to see this run, Paul, when you get it done.
Yeah.
What's the target date?
I'm hoping to get the prototype finished in about 3 or 4 more months.
Well, Robert, I hear you don't have your Avro anymore.
Well, I turned that over to Paul, and it needed a good home, and it was time for it to retire. And and I felt the need to go on to other things.
I see.
And when you're dealing with a model like the Avro, you don't need but one toy in your life.
That's right. Great. Paul, what'd you do with that Avro he gave you?
We had a special place in our living room that we hung it. It's hanging up on a 14-foot ceiling.
You're going to take good care of it, right?
Oh, you bet.
Good.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, Jerry Nelson, eat your heart out. Here's a 3-cylinder Anzani. Is that right, Paul?
Yes.
And it actually runs?
Yes.
And it's quarter scale.
Right.
And you got this from a friend of yours?
Yes, this came from, this was designed and built by Les Chinnery in England. He now sells the casting kits for the engine. You can buy the kit.
Oh, you can? They're available then?
Yes.
Wow.
You can buy the castings and construct the engine.
Wait till Jerry finds that out. You know, he's building or designing a Baby Ace cabin that he wants to put a 3-cylinder in, and that Sato just didn't work for him, I guess, or did wrong size.
And this might be the perfect engine.
Yeah. Boy, that is a beauty, isn't it?
1910 Anzani, 30 horsepower.
He did a good job. How old is he? When did he make this?
I think it was the early 80s is when he started. I'm not positive, but someone told me I think they saw it in the 80s.
But this has never powered an aircraft, has it? Hasn't ever flown, has it, do you know?
That I don't know. I have no idea.
Well, that's beautiful. Now, of course, this is spark ignition, too, like yours, right?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Like your engines?
Yeah. It's got the little magneto in the back functions as the distributor. And it has a built-in oil pump. It runs unleaded gasoline.
Well, here's some more interesting memorabilia that Paul has. What do we got here, Paul? What's this engine here?
That's an Olsen Rice.
An Olson Rice?
Yeah, Olson Rice built those and used them to power quite a few different small pieces of
I'll
equipment.
be darned.
Some of the very early quarter scale people converted.
Yeah,
those.
what is this here, this little machine here?
That's a piece of equipment we designed for one of our customers
Oh,
in the
I
electronics
see.
industry.
That's where you make a living at, right?
You bet.
Instead of...
Wow.
Now this crankshaft, what is this out of?
That's out of the Robart 7-cylinder radial.
I see.
Did some of the prototypes.
And we don't have anything else to do, you build plastic models, is that it?
Well, those are the wooden models you get that were built over in the Philippines.
I see. And you see you got a turbine here, huh?
Yes, I picked those up. Of course, the Pratt & Whitney that we're doing has a turbocharger in it,
Mm-hmm.
and a supercharger from a turbo impeller.
Uh-huh. And Robert, what do you got there?
Eat your heart out.
What is this?
That's on the front, that's a Pratt and Whitney cylinder head, and on the back there's a Citadel ring. I went to that coeducational military school in South Carolina. Isn't that a gorgeous piece of
Wow.
work?
Sure is. This is the head off the Bentley that Robert's handling here now. The Bentley rotary engine.
Yes. What a beautiful piece of...
The ones to the right are the 985.
I see. This is the nose case for the Robart
Yes.
and the head.
And the head, right.
I see.
And those are the Pratt & Whitney.
And this is for your Pratt & Whitney 985.
Is that the new generation of the casting?
Of a 10EE Monarch.
Well, anyway, Paul Knapp got his start on a lathe that was about this size, and he'd never been a machinist in his life till you were an adult, right,
Yeah,
Paul?
that's right.
And boy, did he make up for lost time. Well, we're back to the Bentley now, and get some interesting shots of the rear end here. What is this, the intake here, Paul?
Yeah, carburetor's back here.
The carburetor, okay.
And it feeds through the hollow crankshaft into the crankcase.
And it's either full on or full off. Is that the way they work?
This one is actually carbureted.
Oh, I see.
So it's throttleable. The earlier models were full on or full off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, machined crankcases.
Paul calls this the bird cage, which is actually what the crankcase for the Bentley. Yeah. Beautiful machine work. All you people that own Robarts, why Paul makes the, what is it, the front case, Paul? And
We make the nose case and the heads and the rear gear case.
so you know how good he is.
And of course,
Okay, Paul's got not the original, but the aluminum version of the Bentley. The first one he built was out of steel, wasn't it, Paul?
stainless steel, right?
And it was a little too heavy to fly an aircraft, but
Right.
this is going to be the flying model, right?
Yes.
Wow. Now, when are we going to have this in the air?
Well, when I complete the engine and Robert completes the airplane, we're going to put it in the air.
And Jim Caggard comes up with the drawings.
Right.
Man, that's beautiful. Look at you got the connecting rods in there. You got a master rod and all
Yes.
the articulating rods. Magnificent. And Paul likes airplanes too. Now, Paul, tell me, is this? You say this was a Cadillac engine, or?
Yes, that's a resemblance of a 1939 to 1948 Cadillac.
And can you tell me a little bit about this one?
This is a casting kit that comes from Coal Power Models out in California. And
And you finish it up, huh?
you have to build the whole thing. The castings are
I
rough
see.
sand cast, and all of the red parts, other than the air cleaner, are the castings.
Mm-hmm. And it does run.
Oh yeah, you bet.
Hmm.
Yeah. Puts out about 5 horsepower.
39 Cadillac. My grandfather had one.
Really?
But
Look at that carburetor. Wow. Now, when are we going to include fuel injection to model aircraft engines?
Unbelievably enough, I have a friend who has developed it for quarter scale, and it functions very well. So we're going to start looking at that maybe for a Chevy engine here pretty soon.
Great.
I'm wrong about it.
Look at this radiator.
He died in 1939, so it would have had to been an earlier model. Cadillac would have been.
Paul wins awards at Quarter Scale Association of America every time he goes. And Robert would too if he ever took his airplane out there.
Others need not apply.
And Paul is also an inventor. Well, hell, we already knew that, didn't we? This is the cowl that Paul uses around the Bentley just for, was it for safety purposes, Paul, when you're
Yeah,
demonstrating?
Safety primarily, and also
Uh-huh.
to keep the oil
Yeah.
from going all over.
Best of show trophies.
It actually runs, so it just...
Now, Paul, you tell me this is the castings to a Rolls-Royce Merlin?
Yes. Richard Mayhew in San Diego, California.
Oh, yeah.
Did the casting.
I saw his prototype run at Tustin
Quarter
Marine Corps
scale.
Station at the, what, 94
94.
Scale Masters Champs. Right, sure. And you're going to build up the insides of it and everything?
Yes, these are the castings, and I'm building through the engines right now.
And that's the, what, the reduction part of it? The
This is the prop drive gear case.
reduction drive, is it?
Yes.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
Man, that's beautiful.
And the cover. That will fit on like
Now, is this you actually going to be a supercharged engine also?
He doesn't sell the castings as a supercharged
I
engine,
see.
but I'm going to convert it.
Because you told me you have you said the 985 is going to be supercharged, is that right?
Yes. Yeah,
How do you,
that's,
how do you do that?
we have a turbo impeller in the back, which is very closely configured as the real one was, and it's geared on our engine 5.8 to 1. On the real engine, it was 8 to 1.
This is the section that the